Shaun, there's maybe only one thing better than piping a drive. It's piping a drive dead straight.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can be long and straight, now you're really making the game easier. And today's video, we're going to show you how to straighten out your drive so that you can start to hit it straight every time you stand over a tee shot. And you're going to have a big smile on your face when you learn how to do it. There's one kind of commonality, and we've been fortunate to capture on Gears some of the most accurate drivers to play in since they've been keeping stats, right? And these guys just don't miss. And there's one thing that they do that's really consistent from player to player, and it's how they deliver the club to the ball.
Yeah, and Mike and I talk about it all the time. Some of these rehearsals that we're seeing golfers do, trying to get shaft lean and get wide open with the driver and the shaft coming in like this, there's really no chance to hit the driver straight like that, because what we've seen time and time again, and we've been lucky enough to be around Scott Hamilton a lot, who's known for helping the best players in the world drive it straight.
Right.
You know, what we try to get them to do is just get the shaft to line up straight at impact, right?
Right,
No
and by straight you
handling.
mean no lean forward, no lean back, just a vertical shaft at impact.
Down the left arm, down the shaft, into the
Right.
ball. If you can learn how to do that at speed with good body positioning, which is part of that, you'll hit the driver straight and long.
Now, what are some of the pitfalls of not doing that? So, again, we get online lessons sent to us
Every day.
and I see this rehearsal all the time. Right, the golfer's trying to get open, but to do that, they're practicing this move, wide open face, handle way forward with their driver. They wouldn't make that with their lob wedge. So they're practicing one thing and ruining another thing.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely correct. And with the driver, you know, it's a long club, so anytime you're shoving the hands forward, you would have to have so much twist to the face, almost like a Dustin Johnson, right?
But even in that,
Yep.
what you do to this end of the club, with a driver especially, a graphite shaft, does not happen at this end in real time.
No, you're right.
There's
it's like
lag.
a free end, a free
Yes.
body down here twisting around. So if you guys can understand that I'm just trying to let the club swing out, I'm not trying to overlag it,
No.
right? I'm from the top, I'm letting the club start to swing out naturally and unhinge and line up. A lot better chance not only to hit the middle of the face, also to kind of hit level or slightly up and with a square club face.
That brings us to the second one. So we see a lot of golfers who try to come in to hit up on it more.
Yeah.
Well, whew,
See it every
give
day.
it one of those. Now,
Yep.
those balls are coming off low in the face
Yeah.
with a rapidly closing club face.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to give you a drill here that kind of knocks all this out after we look at gears, but just the idea of posing this is very helpful,
Yes.
right? Just saying, okay, where would I need to be with my body? Hips forward, slightly open, a little bit of tilt back so I can get this straight line down here, and just make these little motions down here to kind of pose it, and that goes a long way towards doing it in your full swing.
I love doing this in lessons. You're going to see how we do it in the drill in a second. But when I have a golfer do it this slow in a lesson, at first there's disappointment when they think, well, it can't be that easy. So, all right, well, show it to me. And then they'll do it, and they'll be back here or they'll be up here. It's like, it's not easy to do the first time if you've never done it.
No, we talk about it all the time. We'll have in lessons people, hey, what do you think impact should look like?
Right.
I mean, I see some stuff that even still blows my mind. Like, their body's in the same spot they were at a dress. They might be like this.
Yep.
They might, hardly anyone's ever too forward, and that's for another
Right.
video. But a lot of times, just their concept of impact is so off. If you guys can learn that the hips are a little forward, a little open, with a lined up driver for impact, and learn to pose that correctly, and then just start to make little bigger swings, working through that spot, make a massive difference.
All right, let's jump over to gears. We're going to show you what this looks like when done by the best players in the world, so you can really start to get the concept for it. Then we'll come back and show you that drill. Let's take a look at one of the most accurate drivers to be on the tour in the past 25 years. We've gotten to see this player hit a lot of balls, and you know, the term machine-like gets way overused, but it is really the best description to describe how he hits the ball. We're going to show you his setup and his impact. The first thing to notice are the differences in his body. Very neutral with his body angles here at setup, and then at impact, he shifted everything forward with some spine tilt away from the target. His ball is in that classic opposite the left heel ball position, But notice the difference in where his hands are between the two. At setup, his shaft is leaning a few degrees back away from the target. And this is pretty common amongst the pros, but usually the opposite with what we see AMs doing. AMs like to have their hands forward at setup with the hope it'll help them return them there at impact. Comparing address to impact, you can see his hands are positioned right over the ball as he makes contact. His shaft has less than 1 degree of forward shaft lean. An extreme amount for a pro would be about 3 degrees forward shaft lean here at impact. Now for reference, a lot for a 7-iron would be 12 degrees, so roughly 4 times less with the driver on the extreme end. And the goal here should be to bring it right back to vertical as you see our pro here doing. This is one club that performs best with a vertical shaft at impact. Then if we look a couple frames right after impact, when the club is opposite his front foot, notice how his entire left side lines up vertically. Shaft, arm, leg, all lined up. If you struggle to drive it in the short grass, there's a really good chance you aren't lined up like this. This is the first time we've used this player, but it's not the first time we've shown this because it really is a commonality amongst great drivers of the ball. When you're able to get the arms down as the body turns, you're giving yourself the chance to become a really strong driver. And if you can drive it, you can score. All right, Shaun, the drill that we use a lot is we'll usually have like just an empty Amazon box, just a big square object. We've got a little homemade deal. We got our Den caddy and we got our Sheffick board to give us a nice big wall here to hit. Now, do not do this drill and try to hit the ball.
This is for just posing.
This is just posing. This is just getting you to feel what needs to take place to make this happen.
I don't want to hear any broken driver shafts.
No hitting balls with this drill. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to do.
So basically, I've got it lined up so if I were to come down and hit the board, I would just barely tap the ball. Okay. Right? That would get me vertical with the shaft at impact. Now, at address, just the way everybody sets up with the driver, your hands will be off this a little bit.
Right, they'll be leaning back just a little
because
bit.
you haven't done your shift forward yet. Right? So the drill would be kind of take it to the top, swing down slowly on plane, and then just barely tap the board and get into position that you would be in at impact. So I feel like I haven't overslid. If I overslid, that would put the shaft here, right? Yep. I haven't hung back because I couldn't get my hands forward enough. So I've gone forward just a few inches with my hips, letting the club line up. My left shoulder's kind of in line with the ball.
You're giving too much credit to those oversliders. We see an overslide with the shaft still leaning backwards.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we see a whole bunch of that. Whole bunch of that.
That's true. So if I put this here, I'm going to close this gap. I'm going to keep my head behind the ball, and this shaft's going to line right up for impact. I would hit it dead straight. Yeah.
Now, a lot of you are you're going to not do this drill because you're going to think, well, who can't do that? You're probably the person that needs to do this most because this is not something that if you move into it, you're going to find right away if you have a problem with consistency.
Yeah. So do this. This is kind of a good exercise for you. Take your phone out or have your friend take it. Set up to a golf ball with a driver and pose where you think impact should be and take a picture of it. Put it up against the golfer on the tour this weekend at the PGA Championship or whenever and see if it looks similar. If it's not, you've got some work to do just with the concepts of what you've got to do down here.
That's exactly right. And film yourself, get away from this and start to hit balls. Slowly at first, film yourself, put a line right on the back edge of the ball, dead vertically, and see how well you line up. My chances are, if you're not hitting it consistently, you're going to struggle to line that shaft up.
Absolutely. So work on that. It's going to pay huge dividends.
If you found this video helpful and you need more help with your consistency, we want to help you with that. Go to the first comment below this video. You'll see a link. It's our first pinned comment. There'll be a link in there. Click on that link. We'll take you to our #1 consistency drill to help you hit the ball more solidly and more consistent every time you're out on the course.